Pay attention. Get off the phone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome to Real Talk. We're so glad. I mean, starting the show off just wrong. She's already starting. Listen, we're in the studio of Real Talk. This is Real Talk Studio. We're actually in the same studio. See,
Move your hand out the way.
we're glad to have all of you all to join us on today. Please come on in, come on in, come on in. We have a very exciting show for you on tonight. We're talking about the mass, to be or not to be. That is the question. And so, of course, we have special guests tonight. There's going to be that we had to pre-record with Miss Sabrina
Bleasdale.
Bleasdale, and Bishop Steve Smith, pastor of New Destiny Church. And of course, Miss Sabrina will be joining us from Portland, Oregon. She's actually at work, and we are excited about what you're going to see as we had a little conversation with them, and we're going to show you how that came about. Of course, we want to continue to pray for our country. Keep our prayer, the country in prayer. Uh, to be or not to be the mass, and of course, we asking the question: have you got the vaccination? Have you got the vaccination? Okay, and so we're glad to have all of you to join us on today. We want you to feel free to comment at any time as you join our live. Of course, you can catch us on the conference call number. That number is 1-646-224-5980. The PIN number is 334-1986. You can catch us on Z Andre Huff page or the Mount Zion Baptist Church page, as well as Tanya Latham page on Facebook Live. But if you so happen do not like social media, you can go to YouTube. That's right. Go to your YouTube channel and look up Z Andre Huff YouTube channel, and you can catch our show right now on YouTube. So please spread it, spread it, spread it. Hello, Bishop.
Hello.
How are you? You gonna
I'm good.
act
How are
right
you?
today. We're
I'm
gonna act
good. How
right
are
today.
you?
Well, your shirt say be kind,
Be
be kind, be
kind.
kind, be kind.
Be kind.
It's an echo. Be kind, be kind, be kind.
Be kind. To one another.
Okay, talk to the people. They speaking.
Hello, everyone. It is awesome to have you here with us today. We have a very exciting show, very informative as always, and so we're glad to have you with us. I'm going to encourage you to like, share, and go ahead and tag 3 people to join in the conversation. We want to get this information out to as many people as possible and have as many people as possible to share in this dialogue tonight. I believe you will find it interesting. We had a very interesting interview with our guest tonight, and so I think you will. I think you will enjoy it, and I think it will be informative for you as well. Did you have a good week, Pastor Huff?
I've had a pretty good week so far. Pretty good week so far. Thank you for asking about my week. How about you?
I've had a wonderful week. I'm excited.
How's Mama Shirley?
Mama Shirley is doing well. How is Mother Huff?
She's doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Wonderful.
She's enjoying the talk show.
She's enjoying it.
She's enjoying it.
My mother enjoys it as well.
Well, that's great.
You know, she often wonders how I manage to do so well. Keep it at a
Because she know you know how to act up.
She's praying.
Well, thank you, Mama, for praying. Share. We want as many people as possible to come in and join Real Talk. Hello, Minister Di. How you doing? Get shout out to my prayer line co-host. Want all of you to join. Of course, again, we want to say this again. You will later on see Bishop Steve Smith and Sabrina Say the last name.
Bleasdale.
Bleasdale. I don't have a problem with that. That's not a normal name. But Bleasdale. Okay. All right. So if you're ready, we're ready. Let's go. All right, so we're ready to get started on today, and you know what we do normally. We get the COVID update from
Yes,
our
yes,
big time councilman
yes.
of Gaston City, District 3. Y'all
District
know who he
3.
is, it's Mr. Thomas Worthy. COVID update. What's up, man?
Well, good evening.
Good
Can you
evening.
hear me?
How are you? We can.
Councilman Worthy,
I can't hear you all now.
can you hear us?
Unplug.
There you go. You got a little shortage there, I guess. You got it now?
I think set it aside. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us?
I can now.
Okay,
Can,
good.
Okay,
can I
let's
ask you a question before you give
Sure.
us the update?
Yes, ma'am.
In that intro, you're doing something. I don't know. What was that? What was going on? When
I don't know. After the intro, then it goes out for some reason on
No,
my
I'm
end.
saying in the intro, during the intro, you have opposed to something like this or something. What was
He's got
going
the
on
do
with that?
sign going.
That
I,
was the
don't-
do.
it was so many. I don't know what I was doing. Having fun probably is normal because I have fun a lot. Try to. Okay, let's get down to it. Before I go over the numbers, I want to go over the participating places that's given the vaccine where you will be able to get the $100, and then you can get your name put in the hat for the $5,000, because we are at, as of Monday, we are at 607 people that's taking the shot. So we should be drawing for the 5,000 soon. Okay. Uh, so the pharmacist is Jerry Pharmacy, Walgreens on Megan, Walgreens on Rainbow Drive, Rick's Discount Drugs in Atala, Gaston City Pharmacy, Physicians Apothecary, Quality of Life, Super B Pharmacy, and Etowah County Health Department. So if you go to any of those places, they would fill out that paperwork for you that you have to turn in at the city to get your $100. So I'm gonna go over again: Jerry's Pharmacy, Walgreens on Megan, Walgreens on Rainbow Drive, Rick's Discount Drugs, Gaston City Pharmacy, Physicians Apothecary, Quality of Life, Etowah County Health Department, Super B's Pharmacy. So, and like I said, we're at 607 people with the shots since we started on July the 20th. And so we started taking, you can start bringing the paperwork to City Hall today. They started giving out the $100 today. And I have those dates because they'll do it on Wednesdays and Fridays, starting at 11. I think it's 11 to 4, 11 to 3. Matter of fact, I put it on Facebook earlier on my Facebook page. Let me see if I can't find it right quick. Yes. Okay, yeah, from 11 to 4 a.m. August 18th, which was the day it started, August the 20th from 11 to 4, August the 25th from 11 to 4, and August the 27th from 11 to 4. And you bring that paperwork that they give you to City Hall on the second floor. When you come off the elevator, there'll be a big window open there, and that's where they'll give you the $100. But you have to be using one of these participating pharmacies or Quality Life of the Health Center. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? No. No questions on that.
No.
Okay. All right.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
That's your Superman music. Well, listen, I do have a question. I had a member that actually went to the CVS in East Gaston and got the vaccination. I mean, they didn't know that there wasn't on the list. They went up to the city hall to try to get the $100, and they was told that CVS wasn't one of the ones on the list. So, what do we do? I mean, is there any way if they have a card or something that they can present?
Well, what I would do is get the paperwork. I believe CVS was one of the ones that didn't want to fill out the paperwork. That additional sheet that you have to give to the city for the program. I would get that sheet and take it over there and see if somebody at the pharmacy would fill that sheet out.
So they can go to the city and get a sheet.
Yeah, you can go to the city.
Okay,
and get a sheet
so just tell if you don't mind, as a councilman, tell them to try that. Go up to the city, ask for a sheet to see if you can take it over to the CVS and get them to fill it out, because I'm sure they that wasn't the very thing that swayed them to get the shot, but they may feel like they was deceived by getting the shot and was promised that after the second shot, because I think they went and they was told that those people, I mean, CVS wasn't on the list. And I think if we can get them to fill out some information, just maybe.
Maybe. I'm not saying that'll work, but maybe.
And you kind of push it on your end up there?
Yeah, I
because we do know
about that.
I mean, future mayor, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but really tell them to use these pharmacies and Quality Life and the health department that I called out, because they're participating. So the rest of them are not at this time. So please, ma'am, please, sir, if you don't know, call me. My number is 256-504-5049. That's my personal cell number, and you'll get me, okay? And I'll be more than happy to help you and try to walk you through this, okay? So now on to the numbers. And the numbers are not good, people. The numbers are not good at all. Both our hospitals are full. They on diversion.
I received something about in the state of Alabama, something about beds or something. Did you get that fixed?
ICU beds, we have only 2 openings in the whole state of Alabama. We have at Gaston Regional, I think they said we have 5 patients that's in the emergency room that we don't have beds for. And the question was asked, were they going to send them somewhere else? And nowhere else to send them, because all the hospitals are the same. They was talking about sending them to Georgia, but it's the same. And you don't want to blame anybody, but listen, it's the people that does not have the vaccine. Out of the 50 patients at Gaston Regional with COVID, only 3 was vaccinated. Only 3 was vaccinated. So, in the fact that they don't have beds, they have staff members that's out. A lot of staff members that either may have the virus or been exposed to it, so they have to quarantine. So that's another reason why, they may have more beds, but they don't have staff to take care of the patients if they put them in those beds. Same way at Riverview. Riverview, we have I think 38 that's in the hospital, 14 that's in the ICU unit, and the age groups now is 25 to 49 and 18 to 24 that's testing positive, and we're at 35.2% positivity rate. That is a high. You know, we didn't see that number when the pandemic hit the first time, when it hit real bad. So it's all contributed to this D variant, and it's very contagious. We've had 423 new cases in the last week. We've had 150 new cases in the last 24 hours. 150 new cases in the last 24 hours. 3 weeks ago, the fire department was running 10 cases a week. Last week, they ran 30 cases of COVID. That's in 1 week. And it's taking its toll on our hospital workers. It really is. And I don't understand for the life of me why these people will not go take the vaccine. We've had 18 deaths in the last 3 weeks. 18 deaths. We up to 377 deaths in Etowah County. And 18 of them was in the last 3 weeks.
Since when?
In the last 3 weeks.
We up to 300 and what?
77 deaths.
Where did that number start from?
Oh, from the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, okay. Last year.
In the last 3 weeks, we've had 18
18
from it.
3 weeks. That's the average.
Right.
6
So,
weeks. Councilman.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you have any information as to how our children are doing or how the numbers look in the area of our school-age children?
Okay. Yes, but I don't know. They won't give that information out if they're in the hospital or something. They won't tell the age. But I know we have 41 students currently that's positive in the school system. They was either, some of them were positive before school started, so they hadn't been in the school system, this year. So what I think we have, 41. So, and then Etowah County school system, I think they have 88 positive cases.
Did you say 88?
88. Mm-hmm.
Where?
Etowah County school system. So we have to wear the mask. I know y'all was going to talk about wear the mask or not tonight, but people, that's the only thing that's going to slow this thing down is the mask and getting vaccinated. We have to get more people vaccinated. We are only at 36.9% of the people in Etowah County that's been vaccinated with at least one shot. That is low. That is very low. So I don't know what else to do. We're doing the incentives to try to get people to take the vaccine. Then some people say, well, you're bribing people to take it. No, we're just trying to save their lives and save you from having to go to the hospital. The vaccine was never meant for you to not get the virus. It was meant for you to, if you got it, then not to make you so sick where you would have to go to the hospital. That was the whole thing behind it. So, and you got a lot of misinformation out there. So, okay, and Etowah County Health Department now, is they going back to testing 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. They wasn't testing that much, but now they're getting so many people that want to have the test, you have to call and make an appointment. So the number to call to make the appointment, if you want to go to the health department to get tested, is 256-569-8102. That is 256-569-8102. And that is Monday through Friday. The times are from 9 to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday on the testing. No, 9 to 11 a.m. on the testing. 9 to 11 a.m., Monday through Friday. But for your shots, you don't have to call. You can just walk in, and it's Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 p.m. 9 to 3 p.m. at the health department.
That number is 569-8102?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
that's a number different than the other number that you used to call, but this is the number to call specifically to make your appointment for testing. So, Do y'all have any other questions? I think I went over everything that I have. Oh, yeah, we have one county school, Pike County School, is closed for 1 week for deep cleaning. So that may happen here. You know, I don't know what the numbers have to be, Real, for y'all to close it down for a day or two to do deep cleaning.
You know, do you see these different schools fighting the people about wearing the vaccination? I mean, wearing the mask. You know, some of these parents is talking about suing the schools and stuff like that.
Well, they can sue, but anybody can sue for anything, but I don't think they will win, because what you're trying to do is prevent the spread in this pandemic. You're trying to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Yeah, but I don't. You know, these people, man. I mean,
it's crazy to me. I would want my child, because these kids that's 12, that's 11 and under can't get the vaccine.
Right.
You know, and we had from what I understand, a 13-year-old student in Mississippi died from the coronavirus. So it is happening.
And that's the question, you know, wearing the mask, to be or not to be. And that's something that we actually is going to have Bishop
Hey, Miss
Steve
Hardy.
and
Well, I asked a question at the council meeting Tuesday whether we were going to mandate masks again, you know, for the city or just City Hall or just the council chamber. And the mayor has the authority to do that. He could do that if he wanted to, I believe. But whether he would or not, and you know, of course, the answer I got when I asked was, well, we're not under the state of emergency anymore. The governor, you know, mandated the masks and all that back then. So they did. But now, without the governor saying so, but the mayor has that authority.
We have that information.
So just like the school system, y'all had the authority to say that they have to wear masks.
Yeah.
You know.
Kevin Smith just asked the question, and I know where it was last year, and I'll respond to that in just a few minutes. Say, hello, what are the plans for home games? You know, football is about to kick off. Are we letting people in without masks? Now, last year, they had people at the gate, and I think the mask was like $1, but they was given a mask before they could actually go further into the game. Now I don't know what the guidelines are this year, but I do know last year if you went to a ball game, you had administrators at the gate. I don't know if they was even selling masks. They might was giving them masks, but I think the mask was $1 or something, and it was given to everyone that walked in. They pretty much, if you didn't have a mask, they gave you one, or you had to get one from them in order to go on into the ball game. But Kevin, I don't know what the guidelines are this year. I haven't heard. And season kickoff, some are playing tomorrow night, some are going to be playing Friday. That soon. Even with the Pee Wee football. So, and this thing is rising, and it hasn't got as bad as it's going to get. We need to protect ourselves. Yeah. Anything else you have for us, Mr. Worthy?
I believe that's it. Other than I'd like to make an announcement, and I will owe you about the job fair, and we also will.
Your tab
is going up more and more.
Oh my! Oh my!
Hey, we're partnering with Quality Life, and we will be providing the vaccine at the venue during the.
Hey, the CEO, Mr. Rowe.
Yes, sir, he is.
Tell him I want to get some out of his pocket too.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
I'm just saying.
From 9 to 1, the job fair on August the 24th. That will be this coming Tuesday. We have about 70 employers there that will be there, and they all have openings. So if you don't have a job, you need one, come on over. If you have a job and need a better job, come on over. It'll be from 9 to 1. We will do a skill seminar from 8 a.m. to 9. And they'll do the shots from 9 to 1. All righty.
All right.
Free of charge.
Thank you.
Free of charge. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed evening.
You do the same.
Bye-bye.
All right, Councilman. Talk to you soon.
See how you just
Okay, all right. Listen, now I have a problem, Bishop, and why you laughing?
What?
This right here ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? I already said she's your number one cheerleader, but she comes on there and say, "Hello, Bishop."
Ooh, because I spoke to the people. That's why she said it. Look at the comments. Look, we're not gonna do this today. We're here for something important. We're trying to save lives.
You know,
Stop the mutation.
I am in the house with you right now, so I can reach out and touch you.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Mama,
I'm just saying.
Mama, are you
And
still on here?
She would give me permission, I'm sure.
Okay.
Listen, today we welcome all of you to join us. Comment at any time. Comment at any time. Hello, Noretta. How you doing?
Thank you, but come on.
Thank you for being nice.
Ooh.
But we ask that all of you will comment, ask any questions you want to ask. Today we're discussing the topic, if we should or should not wear the mask, to be or not to be. And I know in a lot of places there are people that once you get the vaccination, they tell them you don't have to wear the mask anymore. And that could be causing some problems as well. Today, our guest is none other than Sabrina
I'm not going to tell you how to pronounce it again. I promise you I'm not. I
Bleasdale. Sabrina Bleasdale and Bishop Steve Smith. Bishop Steve Smith is the pastor of New Destiny Church here in Gaston, Alabama. And so we had a recording with them not too long ago, just a few minutes ago. And in the pre-recorded, it is pre-recorded because Bishop Steve had to do Bible study. And of course, Miss Sabrina is in Portland, Oregon. She was actually getting off work. And so we had an opportunity to talk with them. So let's go ahead and get some of these comments up right quick before we go to that. We're going to behave, Sabrina.
If he pronounced your name right.
Y'all will not fight tonight. No, I declare we will not fight tonight. It won't. It had to be two people fighting in order for there to be a fight.
My God.
Hello, Miss Patricia. Amen. My cousin, Miss Ekra. How you doing?
You get brand new every week.
All right. They're speaking. Y'all go ahead and speak to Bishop and Miss Sabrina. And so here we go. Let's take a look at our conversation with them that we had with them earlier. Okay, welcome again to Real Talk. We're so glad to have all of you. Listen, we are asking that you do share your comments, ask any questions. We're about to bring our special guest on today. Of course, we're dealing with the question, the mask, and this is major, what everyone has been concerned about with what's going on in our country, to be or not to be and not to or not to be. And so we do have a special guest that's going to be coming on, and it's none other than world-renowned Pastor Steve Smith. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Pastor Z, Bishop Latham, how y'all doing?
You're great.
Thank y'all for having us tonight. Thank you so much.
And we're going to bring on my good friend, Miss Sabrina Bleasdale. Did I say that right?
That'll work, Bleasdale.
That'll work.
Hey,
All right.
Hey,
We should have got that straight before we went live. We should have got straight the pronunciation of your name.
Say your name, Miss Sabrina.
Bleasdale.
Okay. So for all of you out there in Facebook Live land and YouTube land, conference call land, it's Bleasdale. Now the conference call number is 1-646-224-5980. The PIN number is 334-1986. Of course, you can find our Real Talk show on Z Andre Huff page on Facebook, Tanya Latham page, the Mount Zion Baptist Church page. And if you don't do social media, tell you what you can do. You can go to YouTube, and there's a YouTube channel under Z Andre Huff, and you can check us out on YouTube. And of course, we welcome all comments. We're so happy to have again Pastor Steve Smith of the New Destiny Church here in Gaston, and my good friend Miss Sabrina Bleasdale.
That's it.
I
You
got
got it.
You
all
got
right,
it.
all right, all right.
You got
I'm
it.
proud of myself. Yay.
Good job.
All right. The reason why we brought the two of them on is because there was a dialogue that took place most recently on Facebook. Very interesting dialogue, and of course, good, honest, loving, caring dialogue. And we certainly appreciate when people can have their difference of opinion and be able to smile and laugh later. And what was posted was that Bishop Steve Smith posted 3 Florida educators have died with 24 hours. And what did they have in common? They were all unvaccinated. Wonder what the next few weeks would be like. Don't know. I keep begging people to get the vaccine. And then, of course, Miss Sabrina said in her response or question, let me ask you a question, Pastor. Last year, you contracted COVID and survived without a vaccination. Who and what kept you then? Just a question and not debating, of course. And they shared each other and they talked to each other, cordial and nice. And he even bragged on her teeth. Matter of fact, smile for us, Sabrina. Yeah, that smile with the dimples. Hey, nice smile.
How can people find the
Keep
broadcast?
going to your dinners now.
How can people find the broadcast, Pastor? People asking, how can they find the link?
The way
It's pre-recorded.
it definitely they'll be able to see it around 6:15 today. We just pre-recorded, and we thank you all for joining us. So the question is concerning the mass, to be or not to be. And so since we have the beautiful, lovely Miss Sabrina on with us on today, she's actually joining us from Portland, Oregon, y'all. And we thank you for taking your time out for doing that. She's on her job, but she wanted to pause just to share. Okay, it's obvious and it's very understanding that there is a community out there that do not believe in the vaccination right now. And they have just cause not to, because of course, people questions is, okay, what about the Tuskegee experiment? What about it hasn't been FDA approved. They hurry up and got this going and everything. And people has the very much right to defend whether they get the vaccination or not. My whole thing for bringing you two on is that both of you all represent a community. There are people that are actually believe and have the same opinion that the both of you all have. All I want to do is see people survive this
Right.
pandemic any way possible, any way possible. And so, from the standpoint of the non-vaccination people that have not received it, the question is: should they wear their mask? Or is a certain type of mask they should wear? You being in the medical field, is these fashion designer masks working? Or just share with us from your point of view, Miss Sabrina.
Yeah, and so for me, whether you're vaccinated or not, I encourage everyone to wear a mask, regardless if you've taken that shot or not. I live faithfully with my mask. I travel with my mask during this pandemic. I've traveled a lot during this pandemic. During the last year, I traveled to Africa. I traveled to France. I traveled to Jamaica. I traveled to Mexico twice, and not to mention all of the states within the U.S. that I've traveled. And I say that to say I've always worn my mask. I haven't gotten a vaccination. People say, God, Sabrina, you're traveling what about COVID? And I'm like, well, COVID is here in the US as well. But the one thing that I do promote is wear my mask. I am constantly with my mask. And I think that's a key factor to survive in this pandemic, regardless of your vaccination status. We should mask up. Now, you asked, was there a certain kind of mask? Like, of course, the N95s are the better masks, but I have my surgical mask. Sometimes, just depending on the type of atmosphere that I'm in, I may double up, I may triple up. Just depending on how many people are in that, share my same space, but I do mask up.
Okay. That sounds good. Bishop, you want to ask Bishop Steve concerning those that are vaccinated if they should or should not wear the mask? I mean, go ahead, Bishop.
How do you feel, Bishop, with respect to Sabrina makes a very valid point, regardless of the vaccination or of being vaccinated or not being vaccinated. That mask is key in us surviving, not contacting, stopping the mutating of the virus. So, and I know a lot of people feel that because they are vaccinated, there's a false sense of security with the vaccination. And there are no breakthrough. They feel like because they're vaccinated, they're sure not to get the virus. So give us a little bit of, because you have really been an advocate for people getting vaccinated. So kind of tell us your basis for being such an advocate for people being vaccinated.
Thank you, Bishop and Pastor Z. I'm pro-vaccine. Of course, everybody know that. Thank you, Sabrina, for prompting this and asking the question, basically, why are you pushing this so hard? It just kind of gave us a platform to even have a dialogue. But as far as the mask, let me answer that first. I wear the N95, and I buy them like a 20-pack N95, and I try to wear that. Anytime I put a mask on, I firmly believe in the mask. I think the mask is helping to save lives. I think it's definitely contributing to slowing this thing down some. Everybody's aware of the numbers and the statistics, but I do highly recommend the mask, and I wear it pretty much every day. And so, we're gonna be here a while, and I'll be constantly talking about the vaccine. I just believe in it, and I think it's a healthy discussion, and I'm pushing it. I want to go back a little bit to the question that kind of prompted all this when Sabrina asked, why are you pushing this so hard? And it is just so many people dying. And I know we'll probably get into a little bit more of that discussion. And, I got people that I'm talking to right now that's fighting that almost got it and didn't get it. And, it goes back and forth on both sides. Unvaccinated and vaccinated people, of course, because nothing is 100% sure. But I'm pro-vaccine, and I do highly recommend the N95 mask. But absolutely, yes, please wear your mask for sure.
Now, let me ask you something, Sabrina. What is it that you do in the medical field?
Well, I'm a trainer, and so I train on our system. So I train our providers, which are doctors, our medical staff, and our front desk and back office teammates on how to use our systems. Okay. I'm a medical assistant by trade over the last for 23 years, and I've been in nephrology.
Okay, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of people in the medical field that do not believe in the vaccine. They won't take the vaccine, and they actually work with all of these patients. And I kind of, my eyebrows goes up, and I wonder, do they know something that some of us don't know? You weigh your options. You don't know, and here's the thing: whether you decide to take the vaccination or you don't, it's your choice. It's your body. But we're bringing these two individuals on because we want them to share with us what is it or what can we do in order to survive this. We don't want to just talk to the vaccinated people and say, okay, you good. We ain't gonna worry about the non-vaccinated. We want to see the non-vaccinated survive too, because I got some people in my family that isn't vaccinated, and I don't see them in the near future getting it.
Mhm.
And I don't want to argue with people about what they should and shouldn't do. It's your choice, but I
Right.
want you to live through this. Uh, it's heartbreaking. We've had quite a few people we know dearly to pass during this
Mhm.
pandemic. There are some people I know right now that's fighting for their life. I don't know where
Mhm.
their status are when it comes down, if they're vaccinated or not. I do not know, but I know they're in the hospital fighting for their life. There's a pastor we know, that pastor in East Gaston, across from your grandfather-in-law,
Yeah.
Steve, right there on East Broad. And from my understanding, it spread it through the church. His wife actually has it,
Mhm.
and from my understanding, and I don't know this to be factual, but I don't even they said that she didn't even know that her husband has already passed. I do
Mhm.
know of a preacher friend who had it during the pandemic,
Mhm.
who had underlying conditions.
Mhm.
He went in the hospital, was in a coma. His mother went in the hospital. His mother died. They had the service, and when he came out the coma, he they had already had the service and everything. Good preacher friend of mine, and so we just want to see people live. I want to see my people live.
Yes.
I want to see people make it through this. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. All the just Saturday, I had to do a eulogy over a young man. That funeral home had 5 services that day in one day. 5 services. Uh,
Yeah.
the mass is very important. The mass is
Yeah.
very important.
I feel like, and you're absolutely correct, right? So we've experienced a lot of death. I see, you know, patients with COVID, family members and friends. I just lost a classmate to COVID. He was unvaccinated. Do I think if he had the vaccination, he would have survived? I don't think so. That's just not my belief. But what I do believe is that if we are conscious about what we're doing, because I feel like the masks don't go, it's not a standalone solution, right? Of course, all of you guys, men and women of God, of course, when we leave our house, we cover ourselves, we cover our children, we cover everything that's connected to us. But in addition to that, then we throw on the mask. But then after the mask, what else do you do? So, like with me, as much traveling as I do, especially traveling for work, I just don't stop at the mask, right? So now I'm conscious, and I don't know if it happened to you guys, but now I notice that I'm more conscious since the pandemic of what I touch, what I do now, who I'm around. So remember before the pandemic, and I'm guilty of this. I don't know if you guys are, but you can go to Walmart and you can just touch everything in Walmart, and then you leave Walmart, go to McDonald's and grab something to eat, and you didn't wash your hands. You ain't use no hand sanitizer. You ain't do none of that because that wasn't. And I can only speak from my experience. I know for a fact that I haven't done that. But now with the pandemic, I'm more conscious. So I'm more conscious of the things that I touch. I'm more conscious when I go into these hotel rooms and go into these different places, even restaurants. I wipe my tables down with my Clorox wipes. I have my hand sanitizers. I'm spraying everything with my Lysol or my Microban. These are things that I didn't do before. So I don't think it's the mask alone because you can wear your mask at all times. But then if you're not conscious of what you're touching, then it really kind of defeats the purpose if you get my drift. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things that we have to be aware of. And I can honestly say, since the pandemic took place, and I've been conscious about these different things that I mentioned, I haven't had a cold. And normally I have a cold every year, but I haven't had a cold. And to be honest, I feel like even if I think that the virus would be here, just like the flu is here, I think we may be able to get a better control of it eventually, but I think it's here and we have to deal with it like we deal with the different viruses. So with saying that, I think I will forever wear a mask. I just think this is the world that I feel like I live in today, and you're probably gonna always see me with a mask.
Mhm. Bishop Steve, we know that you have traveled back and forth to different facilities because you had underlying condition, and uh, so your take on for those people that have underlying conditions, they need to take extra precaution. Um, and I know that you're an advocate for that. Bishop and I was talking, and she was saying there was a way that she heard that you can test the different masks. Bishop, share with them how you can test the mask to see if they actually is effective or not.
Well, one of the ways, the way that I do, I take a lighter and try to blow the flame out from the mask. And if it immediately blows out, I don't use those. I don't use those masks. I don't use those masks. Now, um, so that's the way I test it. And I think that at some point the mask started being a fashion statement.
Mm-hmm.
Here is my thing, and I don't know how much time we have, but here's my thing with the mask, with the vaccination. It's that mask has become really a statement of who you are, especially in some places, because we have politicized the mask. And I know just from the different places and different environments that I've been in, it more or less tells what political party you're with. It tells whether you're faithful, whether you have faith, or whether you don't have faith. This is to some people. Some people see it as lack of faith. And I don't think that it's a faith issue. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that it is a political issue. I think that it is just what it is, to be or not to be. And Sabrina, let me say this first of all, just kind of throw something off completely what we're talking about. Thank you for sharing all of your videos and pictures from your travels, because there are places that some people, myself, may never get to go, but we get a sense of being there, especially like your trip to Africa, by your videos and your pictures and all. So we appreciate seeing those. Um, Now you said something to me that is very important when it comes to the mask. The mask is like a part of your life now. It's like a part of your life, in the fact that you have not had a cold, and there are a number of things that I think the pandemic brought to the forefront that really we should have been doing even before. I am the same way,
Mhm.
conscious of what I touch, making sure that my hands are washed. Because you're right, we'll come from one store, go to the restaurant, and we keep it going. So I'm kind of like you. The mask is like kind of here for me,
Mhm.
because I've had less problems with allergies and all
Mhm.
by wearing the mask. You made a very valid statement as well. It's a combination of things, because when the pandemic started, we especially for my mother and my especially for my mother, we started with the vitamins, vitamin C, elderberry, those things that would boost our immune systems. So I firmly believe in not just having a false sense of security behind the mask or behind the vaccination, but really doing those things to make sure that we are safe. Because you go into a hotel room and we never thought about the people who were there before
Yeah.
us. And so it's so much now that we just really should have been paying attention all along. Let me say this, three things, and I know we'll go into detail more. This is just us being able to talk with you all because of scheduling. But three things that I think: prayer, the mask, and the vaccination. That's for me. And I do those things like vitamins, changing my diet because I kind of stopped eating red meat. at the beginning or eating so much of it. So it's a combination of things that I think we must do in order to really survive. And I can kind of sense what you're saying, kind of agree with what you're saying when you say about someone you were talking about that you said you don't know if he would have lived had he been vaccinated and caught COVID. And I think to a degree, I agree with that because I also feel like, when it's our time, it's our time. But I made this statement to Pastor Huff this morning. If I know I have high blood pressure, I don't just sit and indulge in things that are going to cause my blood pressure to rise. If I'm a diabetic, then I adjust my life so that that manifestation of that healing takes place, not just based on me saying it, but there are some things that I have to do physically to see that manifest itself. So I hate that we have politicized the mask and the vaccination, but like Pastor Huff said, I think we have one common goal, and that's we want people to live. We want people to survive. We want this virus to be gone and to not cause any more hurt and harm than it already has. So, but I don't think that we should get a false sense of security behind any of these mechanisms that we're using.
Amen. And one thing that a lot of people that saw the dialogue did not know is that they are friends. They weren't coming at each other,
Right.
attacking each other, them fell out, don't like each other. If you read one of the statements that Sabrina said to Pastor Steve, I love you. And he said, in return.
And I meant that.
For
And
others
I meant
that
that.
jumped on the tail end, I don't know where y'all went with it.
Yes.
But you can't create an issue with
Yeah.
two believers who feel with the Spirit of God. And so, just want to ask you this, Bishop Steve, are you back in your church?
Yes, we are back in the church, and we are mandating the mask, sanitizer. We're checking temperatures at the door, and we got members who are not vaccinated now. Keep in mind. So I tell them, look, I'm vaccinated. So when you come, just know if you haven't been vaccinated, you're at risk. But I'm not in as much risk as you are. So we all know that nothing is 100% sure, for sure. But I let them know that when they come in. Listen, when you come in at your own
Look at
risk.
Sabrina turning their head.
Come in.
Sabrina,
I see
nice
you.
now.
I see you. I see you.
Wait,
I
but
tell them,
Bishop,
come in at your
when
own
you
risk. Now, I think here's what's me and Sabrina are probably different. I don't have no problem with the unvaccinated people. At the end of the day, Bishop Latham and Pastor Z, y'all said we want people to live. That's my goal too. So I don't have a problem with the unvaccinated people. I think the only time I really have a problem is when somebody make this spiritual. And so that's one of the things that made our dialogue so healthy. When you make it spiritual, now it becomes another issue. If you say, I think Sabrina asked the question, what or who kept you during COVID? You know, I got ITP. That's a blood disorder. I got a heart doctor in Atlanta. I got a hematologist at the Mayo Clinic, a hematologist at the Kirkland Clinic, a hematologist here, and then a kidney doctor here as well. And so I have a lot of doctors. I see a lot of doctors. And so when you make it spiritual and say, if you take it, that you don't have faith, or if you take the vaccine, you're not trusting God, then that's when it becomes a whole nother issue. But otherwise, I don't have a problem with the unvaccinated people. It's just when you make it spiritual, that's why I put all them comments on there about brushing your teeth, or do you go to the dentist, or do you wear deodorant? Do you put gas in your car? Because the way I see it is, if the unvaccinated people's mentality is, I got more faith than you, to me, take off the mask. I'm going to say that again real slow. Yeah. If the unvaccinated people feel like they have more faith than people like us who are vaccinated, now my mentality becomes, I should have never saw you in a mask or a face
Right.
shield. Matter of fact, take it off. Because
And I,
to me, it wasn't about faith or trusting God. Jesus said in Mark 1, it's not the well that need a doctor, but sick people do. This is the healer. This is the savior of the world making this statement. He said,
and I,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then I'm sorry, you guys, because I'm going to have to go too. But I just wanted to
Okay.
address Bishop because one of the reasons why I felt like I wanted to just ask him that comment as to, well, I know you had it last year, you and both Pastor Rita had it,
Yes.
and you guys survived, right?
Right.
And during that time, you guys were very you guys pushed, I know God going to bring me through this and X, Y, and Z, and I was all for it. And yes, he brought you through it. But now I see, and I never, because I know your faith. I know,
Right.
but for the people on the outside that don't know that part of you or seen you and know what you've gone through and really your philosophy, I have a problem with that because it's to me, it's like you're just pushing the vaccination. And so I guess that's why I asked the question was, okay, but wait a minute, because now we're pushing the vaccination, but the vaccination wasn't what kept you last year when you survived it. And I don't have a problem with the vaccination, the vaccinated people. It's just that when some, and I'm not saying it's you, but some feel as though I feel like they have a false sense of security that, okay, I got this vaccination, then now I can walk around without a mask. I can do X, Y, and Z, and the unvaccinated is spreading this. And I'm like, wait a minute, because that's not true. And so I just wanted to question. I had that question for you because why are we just pushing that? Like, and I guess my question is, and I'm trying to bring it all together, so I'm sorry I'm all over the place.
That's okay.
But I guess my question is, I know you're pro-vaccine, and I also know that you're pro-mask, right?
Yes.
And so do you feel like one is better than the other, or do you feel like just do something?
No, I just feel like I have my immune, when I had a splenectomy, they took my spleen out of my body, which is the blood filter, which helps to fight off infections, virus. Even without this pandemic, I'm already compromised. My immune system without COVID is already compromised. So I'm already at a higher risk to catch pretty much anything that's out there. And so I just think it's just things we need to do, like going to the dentist, like the things we do on a daily basis that we do as people. We we go to work, we go to work to get a check, we gas up our cars, we go to see our primary. So in my case, I'm always believing that. I've never stopped believing in the mask, even with all of this. So that may be some people's opinion, but for me, myself, my wife, and remember this too, Sabrina and Bishop and Pastor, me and Lady Rita were against the virus, against the vaccine. So don't forget that. We were totally against the vaccine until we had the round table discussion with our doctors. If you asked us about getting vaccinated, just even months ago, we'd be like, no. We're not even considering it. So I'm always mindful who is out there like Steve and Rita that maybe they're saying no, but they may really be open to it. So that's where we were. We were on the edge, and we just decided, look, we need to go ahead and get it just in case. And so if you talk to any unvaccinated people, they're not going to tell you I have a problem with them. They'll probably say he's kind of overbearing a little bit about getting the vaccine. But if you tell me flat out, no, I don't want it, we ain't gonna never fall out about that.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna never fall out about that. I promise you.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing but love for everybody. Unvaccinated. Hey, at the end of the day, Pastor Z says, man, we're trying to help save lives. We're not saying the vaccine is so savior. Some people take it from one stream to the other. We're not saying the vaccine is a savior. We're saying whatever we can do to contribute to help prevent another death. Keep in mind, Mr. Walter Adams went to the same cancer center I went to. I had to see him every week. Keep in mind, Pastor Brown go to the same cancer center I go to. Just saw him 2 weeks ago in there. He walked in on his own. These two men that I know and that you guys know personally, I'm not saying it was COVID now. I'm just saying that whatever we
It
can
was
do
COVID.
to prevent any death.
Yeah.
With Pastor Brown, it was COVID.
It was okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't really know the details, but these are just two examples. Not even to mention the deaths we had in our church, but these are people I just saw within the last few weeks that we go to the same cancer doctor every week.
Yeah.
So I think whatever we can do to help take care of ourselves, to make sure that we can kind of establish herd immunity, to make sure this in my house, my kids and family and my wife getting vaccinated means that the virus is limited in where it can land now. Because inside our house, we've established herd immunity in here with everybody getting the vaccine. So if it comes in, if it's on a doorknob, door handle, item, somebody brought in, it's kind of limited to where it can go now. So I think we're just trying to just speak out about it as much as we can to make people aware. All of our counties, the last time I checked, every county in our state is now in the red. All of our hospitals in Alabama, the beds are all full. And so as a pastor, as a community leader, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And so I'm glad that you said that. So do you think that we're back in the red? Why do you think we're there? What got us there?
What got us there? Well, with this virus, I think we probably got out too soon. I think people with the mass gatherings, with places, probably all of us on here has been in a crowded place somewhere since it lightened up or since it slowed down, and it never actually left, of course. And so I don't know if we're back where we were. I think we're worse. I think
Yeah, we're worse.
I think
We're
it's
worse. If you check
now.
the numbers, we're worse.
Okay, good. I wasn't for sure, but
Yeah,
it
we're worse
seems
than
like
where
it
we
is.
were. And I think, and this is just my opinion, and I just think that back in April when we were kind of at our low point, the government decided to tell people if you were vaccinated, you can take your mask off and start gathering and all of that. And then now here we are a couple of months later, and then now we're worse. And so that's what I'm talking about. I don't have a problem with people, get your vaccination, do what you need to do, whatever makes you feel secure. We all need to do that. But at the end of the day, that's not all you need to do. My problem is with the vaccinated people who feel like I just need to be vaccinated and that's it. I have teammates here in this office, here in Oregon, where they're both vaccinated. Husband brought COVID into the home from his place of employment, but they're vaccinated. You see what I'm saying? And so when you walk around and you have this belief as though I'm vaccinated, now I don't need to take any other precautions, we have a serious problem.
Yes, agreed.
Bishop Tanya had one last thing that she wanted to share. Bishop.
I really just want to ask Bishop Steve, let me ask you this. With your immune system being compromised to the degree that it is, do you feel that even after COVID has subsided, that you will be a mask wearer, or there are things that you will do different?
You mean once the pandemic is over?
With your immune system compromised pre-COVID, will you remain a mask wearer and protecting yourself after COVID?
Well, I have to. If you Google splenectomy, one of the things it's going to tell you is you're kind of a person that's going to always be depending on antibiotics anyway. So I will say at times, I won't walk around with a mask every single day once this is over, but there'll be some times, and you could thank Miss Mary Rowe for this, Pastor. There'll be some times she knows my condition. She'll just tell me, get your mask on. That's just the way she talked to me. Even outside of this pandemic, with my immune system compromised, there are just certain times when I need to have it on. I won't make it a habit of wearing, especially the N95. Even though it may be one of the best masks, it's not the most comfortable mask to wear. Some of them you can't hardly breathe with them on. And so there'll be some times if it's a crowded place if see, I have to go every week to the doctors to get blood drawn. So my numbers change every week. So my meds change every week. So I think it just kind of depends on where my immune system is. My doctors, they kind of shut it down on purpose to help me in some other areas. Yeah. So there will be some, that's a great question. There'll be some times I'll put it on, but
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry to cut you off, Bishop, but you guys, I got to go.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I look
you,
forward to
Sabrina.
finish up listening to what you were about to answer, Pastor Bishop Smith, but I got to go. They're calling for me. So, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love all you guys. And for those of you guys out there in social media land, and you had the opportunity to take a look at the dialogue that Bishop Steve and I had, it was all in love. You have to learn how to have different opinions and not be mad at each other. You have to respect everybody's opinion. We're all different. Our makeup is different. And we love in spite of how, our differences in views. So love you guys. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thank you for joining us.
Bless you.
All right.
And we thank you, Bishop, for joining us as well. We know you got to get ready to handle other things. But we thank you, man, for joining us, and we look forward to having you back with us real soon.
My pleasure. Thank you. God bless you, Bishop. Thank you, Pastor Z.
God bless you.
God bless you, man. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, y'all. We are back. Thank you, all of you, for staying with us and watching the dialogue and just the good conversation and plea concerning the mass to be or not to be. And like we said earlier, that it was, I don't know what you're doing.
I forgot and started looking at you. We just got to get used to all of it. I forgot.
Okay. We're in the studio. We're in the studio Real Talk. Okay. And it's new to us. We're actually sitting next to each other. Y'all see that? Yeah. We're sitting next to each other. And so anytime I wanna, I can reach over and touch it. But those two are speaking to two different communities, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. And the key thing and the common denominator is the mask. If you should or should not continue to wear the mask. So, Bishop, there was a lot said. We still have quite a few people on. There's a lot said. We still welcome your questions, your comments. Those that was able to watch, if you have any questions concerning what was said, if you agree with what was said, go ahead and type that in your comments. If there are some issues you have with what was said, type it in your comments. I thank God for Sabrina and Pastor Steve for being our guests on today, taking out of their busy schedule. We had to pre-record it because Sabrina is in Portland, Oregon, which we are 2 hours ahead of them. And she was at work, but she needed to do it at that time. And then Bishop Steve, tonight is Wednesday, and so he had to prepare for Bible study. So we were glad to be able to get them in. Hold your head up, Bishop. Go ahead. You was praying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, amen. Now it's in your hands.
Thank you. Will you do something for me? Put up the flyer, one of the flyers that I sent over to you today.
Which one you want up?
The one with all three. The one with all three. When we were talking about the show, I said to you, the mask is so controversial. And it's controversial because it's like the mask speaks for who you are. Let's just talk about the mask first. Because now the mask has been politicized. The mask is some people feel like you have faith if you have the mask on. Some people, I mean, don't have the mask on, you have faith. If you have the mask on, you're not really trusting God. If you take the vaccination, it's like you're not trusting God. Let me say for me, I think prayer, this speaks for where I am and where I think we all should be. Because in the end, we have a common desire, we have a common goal, that is to keep people alive, to stop mutation of this virus, and to do what we can to keep people out of the hospital, to keep people from getting it. Councilman Worthy said, hospitals are full. You got a letter, email earlier this week. There are like 2 ICU beds in the state of Alabama. He said that one of the hospitals, there's five patients that are in the emergency room. They have nowhere to go. We can sit up and keep politicizing this and keep going back and forth. You got a situation in Florida to where Florida and Texas, those governors have put mandates in. People are literally losing their lives and things are going, this situation is not getting any better. So for me, prayer, the vaccination, and my mask, those are 3 things that we know. We know the power of prayer. The vaccine seems to be working. We know that the mask is working. One of the things that I could agree, that I see for the vaccinated, they have a fault. Let me say, not they, because I'm vaccinated. You're vaccinated. But one of the things is people who are vaccinated have a false sense of security now that they're vaccinated. The majority, not everybody. Not everybody. But it's like, since we're vaccinated, we can just go crazy. And then even in the comments, we have people saying, well, now in a few months, they're going to be offering the a booster. Now, when the booster first came out, the booster was for people whose immune systems were compromised. Now it's going to be for anybody, or for a certain, I think, yeah, the older, like it was at first. I don't think this is for the teenagers or whatever. But now in about 8 months, you're going to be able to get a booster shot. So for me, we know wearing a mask works. We already see from people like me and you, questionable you, that the vaccine is not gonna, we haven't grown a third eye or horns or anything. So we know the vaccination works. And then, people of faith, we know the power of prayer. I just don't see why. I just don't see what's so hard about this. In the state of Florida, 15,000 children have been quarantined. I just do not know why we are politicizing this whole COVID-19 situation. And then let's say this: if I'm not gonna get vaccinated, I have a couple of friends that are not vaccinated. They're not gonna get vaccinated. So my thing is, are you protecting yourself? Are you wearing your mask? Are you doing the things that you need to do? We have choices. I mentioned earlier, if you are diabetic, you do not just sit at a table, or you do not just consume sweets and carbohydrates all day. You don't do it. If you have high blood pressure, well, some people do. But for the most part, we listen to our doctors. We take their advice. For for our medications and all. And I don't know about you all who are on here. When the doctor gives me medicine or I have to go see the doctor, I'm still praying. I believe God has placed them in the earth, but I'm not gonna just not pray. I just don't. I'm getting confused as to what the common goal is. What, you know, if you wear the mask, you're associated with Democrats. If you don't, then you're associated with Republicans. Now, I will say this: I have gone into a couple of places and I had my mask on, and I know I was in the minority, not just by the color of my skin. And it felt strange, but you just don't have to look at me strange. And that's why I asked Bishop Steve the question in the end, if in fact, after this virus is over, will you still be wearing your mask? I'll be wearing mine because it's not only proven to keep transmission of the virus down, but our numbers were down for the flu. My allergies, I hadn't had as many problems with allergies as I have, so but to be or not to be, live or not to be, die. We can sit up and agree to disagree, go back and forth with this thing, but there are people. When Councilman Worthy gave his numbers were not with people who were vaccinated. His numbers was with non-vaccinated people. So, as far as I'm concerned, the proof is in the pudding. It's all around us. I don't care what you do. For me, I'm always gonna involve God and pray to God. Yes. But I'm also gonna do those things physically to keep for this temple that we say belongs to God. And if you choose not to get vaccinated, then quarantine or wear your mask or do whatever. But right now, the numbers are where they are. It seems to be leaning toward people who are not vaccinated. And let us remember, we're not just talking about the original strand of COVID-19. We're talking about the Delta variant, which is more contagious than originally. So come on. When we were in the house, when our going was limited, when we were asked to wear masks, we did better without a vaccination than we've done with the vaccination, because we were doing all of those things to keep us where we needed to be. It's to be or not to be. It's simple. I want to say it's simple. And I'm not coming down on, I have encouraged friends, I've encouraged family members. Let's get vaccinated. Let's get vaccinated. In the end, we live in America, land of the free. So we have the choice to make. But right now, because people have chosen not to get vaccinated, that's who's in the hospital. That's who's in the hospital. And let's look at it. We have allowed things to go such in disarray because we have politicized things. Look at the map when it comes on. The southern states are where things are out of control. Florida is now the epidemics of the world, because that's where the cases are the most.
Well, that's where a lot of people vacation. Still people running to the beaches.
Right.
Schools are opening up, and the children.
It's not even safe for you to say that you believe in the mask, you believe in the vaccination, and people are shouting at you. People are mad at you.
But we just, I just saw, I've been seeing all week long where parents are protesting outside of the schools because they don't want their children wearing masks. Now that I do not get. Now, far as people choosing to get the vaccination, I'm not going to argue with people. I know what I did. I know what I believe. This is my body. whatever happens to me happens to me.
Right.
I just want people to survive there, and I think that's the thing that get you and I frustrated, is that we're tired of hearing our loved ones, people we know, people that have been dear to us, go too soon.
Put that up. No. Whichever one. Which one was Luca? Bobby Luca. Here's the thing, and this has been on
Yeah.
national news. Most people, when they get in the hospital that were not vaccinated, the non-vaccinated people who end up in the hospital, the first question they ask, can I get vaccinated? It's like saying you're not going to get automobile insurance until you have a wreck.
Yeah.
You know, it's too late then. We can sit and keep going back and forth with this, but allow me to say this to a certain degree. We all see the numbers. There are those of us on here who know the mask work. There are those of here who have been vaccinated. Oh my God. We could shout right now for the power of prayer, but it takes all of it. It has taken prayer, the mask, the vaccination, vitamins, taking care of my body physically to get through this pandemic. We're here by the grace of God. But if we go out here, anybody knows that we go out here and we live any kind of way, we substance abuse, we abuse our bodies, the lifespan becomes less when we do that. I can be praying all day long, but if I don't do something in the physical, what is, and somebody mentioned earlier in a comment, faith without work is dead. Faith without work is dead. And so here is what I do say, because somebody said, well, in a conversation earlier this week, somebody was talking about if they're going to shut down. I don't believe the government is going to shut down. I believe it will have to. I know it was me and my aunt were having this conversation yesterday. And in that conversation, I said, I don't believe the government is going to shut down. I believe it will have to, this COVID-19, the Delta variant, will have to walk up to some governor mansions. In the same time that I'm making this statement, what comes on TV? The governor of Texas has tested positive for COVID-19. Now but he was fully vaccinated, wasn't wearing a mask. They showed clips of him being in all these places around all these people positive with COVID-19 or the Delta variant. I don't know which one it was, but we are going to have to use common sense. And then somebody will say, well, common sense ain't so common. But let's stop debating something and let's take the necessary measures to stay safe, to stop mutation, to stop the spread of this virus. So to me, you make a decision and you say you're going to wear your mask, you're going to take the vaccination. Whichever way you go, do what it takes to keep you safe and people around you safe. That's my take on it. And that's the reason that I say prayer, the vaccination, as well as the mask. And I'm gonna tell you now, you can call you. What was that commercial that man used to say? You can call me crazy. You can call me. Remember that? You're about my age, or a little older. My point for saying that is that you might look up and see me 3 years from now. I'm gonna have a mask on because it works for more than COVID. And I'm gonna still be washing my hands. When I go to the grocery store, I still wipe the groceries down. Because let me tell you something. These people are so twisted in the mind, they won't even cover their mouths now when they don't have a mask on, when they sneeze and cough. That's why I agree with Sabrina when she says there are things that she's doing now we should have already been doing before COVID-19. That's the way I feel. I believe it all works. And in the end, I told God this. I said, God, I'm going to take the vaccination. I'm going to wear my mask. And God, I need you to protect me. Because I may miss washing my hands somewhere. So I need your grace. I need your mercy. I need your protection. I need your protection. So, we can keep sitting up, you know. What is that your it was something our parents used to say when we were young, you know. Soft head make a soft ball. Hard head make a soft ball. Are you in the show tonight?
I think you need to. Everyone need to wear your mask. You heard. We can actually open the doors of the church now. Bishop has preached
I didn't.
her heart out.
Ooh.
Lord, and listen, it's all passionate. It's all passionate. Some of us is more. It's not more important, but to them, yes, money is important, and that is sad as well as scary. Talking about if the government will shut down the states, they don't think they'll ever be shut down due to um, money could be lost. Just the other day, I saw someone cough
That's what
into
I'm
their
saying.
hand and then get something to drink out of the drink machine, and then got in line to get something to eat.
That's right. We never paid attention to these type things pre-COVID. We never paid attention. So, I'm glad I know now. I'm glad I know. And then, when God get ready for me, he gonna come get me. But I'm not gonna help the situation out.
Wear your mask. Wear your mask by any means necessary, and
Vaccinated or not
and
vaccinated.
don't get caught up in it's a political party issue, uh, because we do know that a lot of the Trump supporters, as he said himself, it was a hoax. It wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was. Then he came down with it himself, and people that has a following has a tendency to believe the people that they follow. But I do want everyone to survive this pandemic. It's getting worse. We're in the second week. Well, we haven't even had 2 weeks into school yet. And teachers and students all are already quarantining, asked to stay at home in the state of Alabama, right here, even in Gaston. So please protect yourself. Please protect yourself. We do want to thank Sabrina
Yes.
Bledsoe,
Bleasdale.
I'm sorry, Sabrina
Blease.
Bleasdale, and Pastor Steve Smith for joining us. We do apologize if there was a lag in the pre-recorded. That's just something that happens when you pre-record something and try to play it back through the system, has a tendency to drag. But we do hope that you got the understanding and enjoyed the conversation, the healthy conversation about the vaccinated as well as the unvaccinated wearing your mask. We want all of us to make it through this. We want all of us to make it through this, okay? Bishop T, anything you want to say before we sign off?
No, I've enjoyed the dialogue. I've enjoyed, as always, I've enjoyed talking to you and talking with the people and hearing what the people have to say. Again, I echo your words. Thank you, Bishop and Sabrina, for coming on and sharing your opinion. And it's just good to agree to disagree. It's good to and have that open dialogue. Before we do conclude for tonight and come off the air, let's remember Haiti tonight with the earthquake. Let's remember them, remember that country in our prayers. Also, the situation that's going on in Afghanistan. Let's just continue to pray for the world and for our world leaders. Let's continue to do that. These are perilous times.
Yes, they are.
And we have got to keep our hands in God's hands and continue to pray.
Okay. Thank all of you for joining us on tonight. We love you. And of course, we hope to see you on next Wednesday, same time, same place. Until then, we're out.